All right, Elaine, this one is for you. You wanted something that was core specific, so something that can help tighten your core, something that was shoulder friendly, that we can focus some energy on improving shoulder strength, and then also something that could do some mindfulness, some meditation. So we're going to start with some breathing, and then we'll go into the movements, and then at the end, I'll walk you through a really good meditative breath exercise that I use personally, okay? So for starters, hopefully you have a mat. If you don't really need one, it's not mandatory. I also have some blocks and a strap. For blocks, you can use anything from a chair to a stack of books or something that can elevate you, basically, something that helps you bring the floor up to you. So let's start with a breathing exercise. I'm going to set that strap aside, we'll leave it there. I'm just going to sit on the blocks. Sitting on the blocks helps if you have tight hips because it raises your butt a little bit above your knees, or else you're going to be hunched over. So this allows you to sit up straight and engage your core. So there's no arching, no rounding. Just picture a straight line through your core, up to your chest, up to your head, okay? So we're going to start with some nice, big, deep breaths and hopefully maintain these breaths throughout the exercises. We're not going to have any pauses in this, so it's just going to be inhale and exhale, even breaths. And you can do it through your nose, cool. If not, breathing through your mouth isn't the end of the world. So I get really bad allergies. Breathing through your nose is really helpful because sometimes it helps you control the depth of the breath. So we're going to take a series of nice deep breaths to kind of set the tone and to get into our flow, okay? Not sure how much of the sound is picking up, but it's currently raining outside, so it's kind of rhythmic for me. I don't know if it's as rhythmic on the recording here. So, all right, we have a nice set tone for our breath, a nice pace. Hopefully we can try and maintain that. Let's go ahead and get into our first pose. It'll be cat-cow. So cat-cow pose takes place on all fours. So you're going to be on your hands and knees. I personally like to tuck my toes in cat-cow pose because it allows me to work on strengthening my ankles because I have a weak ankle. So it's a little bit of engagement there. So in cat-cow, you start in neutral spine. And now you inhale and you arch your back. You look up. And then when you exhale, you round your back, engage your core, squeeze all the air out, your head drops until you're empty. Repeat. And then exhale. I think we should do like 4 or 5 of these. Inhale. Arch your back, look up. Exhale. Empty everything out of your body. Draw your core in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Look up. Exhale. All right, that felt good. All right, from cat-cow, we're going to go into plank. Plank is like the top of a push-up. The idea is that we're going to be up on our hands and our toes, and then we're going to draw a straight line from our feet all the way up to our head. If this is too much, feel free to do this, but the goal is to do a straight line from your head all the way down to either your knees or your feet. None of this and none of this. We're not doing push-ups, we're just holding. And drop your knees if it helps. Form is more important than losing it. So if this is what you have to do, modify to maintain form, then please do this, all right? Let's hold this for about 30 seconds. If it helps, sometimes you want to bend your elbows. You want to keep your shoulders down and away from your ears, not tucked up by your ears. This is not a passive pose. It's very active. Elbows engaged. If you lock them out, you're losing the point. Bring your toes. Shoulders down and back. You feel it. Feel free to take a break. That's okay. About 15 more seconds. Definitely feeling it here. And don't forget to breathe. Plenty of breaths, okay? When you can remember to, go back to that breath, the rhythmic breath. All right. Definitely feeling that in my arms and my shoulders. All right, so from plank, we're going to downward dog. It's the essential, well-known pose. So we're going to go from the plank into downward dog, which is basically just an inverted V. And the same concept applies. Just keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. And when you're downward dog, you have a hard time getting your back straight. Bend your knees. It's a completely acceptable modification because if your knees are straight and your back is rounded, you're losing the point. You're kind of doing it correctly. So bend your knees, push your butt up, straighten your back and your shoulders down and away from your ears. And then once your upper half is straight from your palms all the way to your butt, then you push up with your heels, or you push your heels down and straighten your legs. We'll hold this one for 30 seconds to a minute. And if it's too hard, feel free to bend your knees again to help find that proper form. If you have to take your knees down, you got to take a break, that's fine too. Shoulders down and back away from your ears. Ears in between your arms. This also is not a passive pose. It's very much active. All we're doing is holding. If it helps, you can walk your feet back and forth. I specifically suffer from ankle issues, so this is very helpful to me. So let's do this right here. Some soft steps. There we go. All right. Next pose, which you can drop down into from downward facing dog. So feel free to stay in downward dog. It's going to be dolphin pose. This is very much a shoulder-centric pose. So once we're in downward dog, you can drop down to your elbows. Keep your forearms parallel. Everything else is still the same. Your shoulders down and back away from your ears. Your neck is straight. There should be a straight line from your elbow to your butt. If it helps, bend those knees. And once that's all correct, drive those hips up. Hold this for 30 seconds to a minute as well. Find that rhythmic breath. A few more breaths. then take your knees down for that one. All right, I'm feeling that on my shoulders. Hopefully you are as well, and hopefully it's not a bad thing. So we're going to do a quick little flow here. It's a lunge flow, and so just follow along. Normally we would transition straight from dolphin into high lunge, so or dolphin back in downward facing dog. So eventually you can do this without me having to show you exactly. So go back up into downward facing dog. We're going to lift our right foot up into three-legged dog. Hips square. And we're going to bring that knee forward in between our hands and our arms. And we're going to step the foot up. Like that, okay? And we're going to lift up into high lunge. Your hips are square to the top of your mat. Your back toes and your front toes are pointing straight. We're going to lift our hands over our head, tuck them behind our neck. We're going to do some twists. So we're going to twist to the right, and we're going to do 5 twists. So inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, twist. And hold. Inhale, take another, face forward, tall. And with every twist, we exhale, twisting deeper. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, twist again. Deeper this time. I think that was 3 or 4. Inhale. And for this last one, raise your hands above. We're going to open our arms to the side. If it helps, you can always use that front hand on the knee to kind of not crank, but to give you a little bit of push and twist. And now back to face forward. From high lunge, we're going to go into warrior 2. So from high lunge, we're going to place that right foot, the left heel down, so that our foot is at a 45-degree angle. Our front right foot is still pointing forward, and now our hips are out to the side. So this is a little bit easier on the legs. The knee shouldn't go past the toes, so if it helps, creep that front foot forward. Get a little bit lower into it. There we go. We're going to lift our hands up to the side. I actually personally prefer my palms up. You can do palms down as well. All right. We're going to hold this here for a moment. Catch our breath, the rhythmic in and out. Stand tall, shoulders down away from the ears, looking over our right hand. All right. We're going to make sure that front hand is flipped. We're going to do reverse warrior. This back hand slides down your calf. Your front hand reaches up and over. There's a slight arch. There's more of a upward motion than backward motion. With every inhale, you reach up. With every exhale, you reach back a little bit farther. One more breath. Exhale, reach farther back. Back into warrior 2. Now we're going to do side angle. This one's kind of tricky. There's a couple modifications. You can use a block or your knee. Put that hand down there, or knee resting just inside the elbow. You don't want to put all your weight, but just enough to hold you up. Then we're going to swing this arm around, up and forward, and drive our hips into it, okay? Big deep breath in to lengthen. Exhale to deepen. Turn and look up. Lengthen, exhale, deepen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Back into warrior two. This next one, triangle pose, is the last pose for this side of the flow. So triangle, you reach forward and down. At the same time, you straighten that front knee and push your hip back. You can use your calf, your shin for this, or a block, or the floor, depending on your comfort level. And then it's a twist outward like that. Once again, inhale, lengthen your spine, your neck and your head. Exhale, open up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open. All right. Well, that felt good. Back into warrior two. And from here, let's go ahead and transition back into plank and then downward facing dog. And then let's step up to the top of the mat. Oh, nice forward fold. Little half lift, straighten your back. Forward fold. And rise up to mountain pose. Alright, we're going to do that whole thing, but from the other side, okay? And then we'll start with a high lunge twist, warrior two, reverse warrior, side angle, triangle. I'll walk you through it, okay? Alright, so from mountain pose, bend forward. We're going to step back into a plank, and then up into downward facing dog. So last time we lifted our right leg, this time we lift our left leg into three-legged dog. Then bring that left leg forward. Put that hand, that foot between those hands, and lift up to high lunge. All right. Hips square forward. Front toes, back toes facing forward. The back heel is up. You can bend the knee if it helps a little bit. And we're not locking anything into place here. It's very much an active pose. Let's introduce those twists. Hands behind your neck. Inhale to heighten, and exhale to twist. Inhale to heighten, exhale to twist. Inhale to heighten, exhale to twist. Inhale to heighten. On this next one, we're going to go as deep as you can. Open your arms if you can, and if this helps, grab that knee. Don't crank, but just use it to hold yourself in place. All right, back to forward. And then remember, we transitioned to warrior pose, so now you get to see from the other side. Sorry. The back leg turns to 45 degrees. The front knee and foot are still forward. If it helps, you can creep that foot a little bit farther forward. Inhale to heighten. Exhale to deepen. All right. Inhale to heighten. Exhale to deepen. We'll do reverse warrior first. So that back hand, your right hand goes down to your shin or your calf. Left hand up and over. Inhale to get taller. Exhale to get deeper. Inhale taller. Exhale deeper. We're going to do one more big breath. And then reach back. Back into warrior two. And then this is the side angle, where you can use a block or your knee. You don't rest all your weight. You can also try this if you want with no weight. Full warrior two. Both hands are lifted like that. That takes a lot of core eventually. For right now, use a block on your knee and just reach forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to open. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to open and twist. Out to the side. Back to warrior two. And this next one is triangle pose. Where as you reach forward and down, that front leg goes straight. And you open to the side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to open to the side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to open to the side. One more big deep breath to lengthen. And exhale to open to the side. Back into warrior one. All right. We're going to go back into a downward facing dog. Do plank. And this wasn't planned until just now. I think we'll do one upward facing dog, straight from plank. Flip your toes. Bring your hips forward. If you have to rest your hips, that's fine. That becomes seal pose, but if you can, lift up and push up through your arms and your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down and keep those hips off the ground. Just like that. And just hold for a few breaths. Feel free to jump those hips if you have to. That's a little intense. All right. Whew. All right. That flow felt really good. I'm definitely feeling it all over my body. So hopefully you are as well. All right. We have a couple more poses. And then we'll be done. We'll do some breath work and then you can go about your day. So now that we're on the ground, we're just going to flip over and transition into boat pose. Boat pose is a very core specific pose. It's one of the simplest, yes, most difficult. So I'll show you some variations. So it's like a crunch, but you're not moving, you're just holding. So level one is this. Feet still on the floor, back lifted, chest is aimed up. So your back is straight. We're not hunching forward like this. It's not a crunch. So engage your core. Open your chest, look up. Level two, feet off the floor and like that. Sometimes it'll help if you need to catch your knees. You don't run forward, okay? So level two, shins parallel to the ground. And level three, pointed feet, pointed legs. You maintain the proper form of the chest up. Just hold. And if you have to go through the three, go ahead. So level one, feet on the ground. Level two, feet lifted. You're shaking, means it's working. Level three, feet up, toes up, chest up. Oh, feel free to fall back when you're done or keep going. That's a good one that with practice you get better at. So keep it up. One more active pose. We're going to do a nice seated forward fold. I like to use the strap because it helps bring my feet closer to my hands. I'm a man, I've got a gut. Forward fold is not super easy for me, so I do what I can to modify. So my knees are gonna stay a little bent. I am going to use the strap. And so much like everything else, the point is not to round forward, get as deep as possible. The point is to get as deep as you can while maintaining proper form. So you want to get your chest up and forward and pull forward. See, I've got the gut in the way, so I can only go so far. That right there is sufficient enough for me right now because I'm feeling it. And then I'm I'm gonna straighten my knees the best I can. I'm feeling it in the back of my hamstrings, as well as my calves. That right there is a lot more effective than this if I did this. Because I can feel this in my core and my shoulders. That's it. That's all you need. Take some nice, big, cleansing breaths. I'm breathing heavily and quickly, and my heart rate is slightly elevated, so this is an opportunity to just slow that down. Keep the core engaged, and your back will start to get sore. If you can, pull a little bit farther forward, straighten the knees best you can. All right. The next pose is corpse pose. It's a relaxation pose. We're only going to be in that for a little bit, and then we will go from that into the breath exercises. If you want to stay in corpse pose or the relaxation pose, that's great. I personally prefer to do it seated, so I'm going to show you both, and then we'll go from there. Okay? So, line your back comfortably. I like to do a reclined butterfly because I hold a lot of stress and tension in my hips. So feel free to do that. And we're going to lay on our back as comfortably as you can. Shoulders back. We'll take some more deep breaths in and out. The same deep breaths that we had in the beginning. And if this is too hard on your hips and you can't relax, then feel free to put your legs out like this for a couple more breaths. Okay, feel free to stay in Shavasana, which is corpse pose, the relaxation pose you were just in. I'm going to go back to seated, because this is how I feel the breath exercise is more comfortable for me, so do whatever works for you. And we're going to do something called box breathing. It's what I personally use when I'm when I'm anxious, or I'm stressed, or I need to clear my head. It's very soothing and meditative. It allows you to focus on something other than everything that's going on. So you imagine a box. You're going to inhale for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, however long your inhale is. You're going to hold that breath at the top for that same period of time. You're going to exhale for that same period of time, and then hold at the bottom. That empty hold the first couple times is kind of scary. It's a little difficult, but you have to remember that there's plenty of oxygen in your system. Your blood is still full of oxygen, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So inhale, I'm going to do a count of 4. Inhale, 1, 2. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Keep doing that. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. However long that you take a breath, hold it for that amount of time, exhale for that same time, and then hold empty for that same amount of time. I personally like to tell myself, if I control my breath, I can quiet, if I control my breath, I can quiet my body, and I can calm my mind. Because for me, that's the issue. If I can just control the breath, everything else falls into place. If I control the breath, I can calm my thoughts, I can calm my head, I can clear my head, and then my physical manifestations related to my anxiety, like my heart rate or my fidgeting or my walking, I can take a moment and I can put everything on pause, because while I'm focusing on my breathing, it's the most important thing you do out of the day. You can go days without water, you can go days without food, you can't go that long without breath. So focusing on your breathing is the simplest thing that you can do for yourself through the day, but that moment is probably one of the most beneficial of your day. So I encourage you to keep doing this. So just lay here for a moment and keep breathing. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Once you find yourself able to get into that state where your body is quiet, your mind is calm, and you're in control of your breath, the possibilities are endless. So I think I'm done. Feel free to keep doing your breathing and let me know how it goes, okay?